pass me by.
So now, poor Bobby's singing down. You can run, you can run. Yeah, my play Willie Brown. You can run. Tell my play Willie Brown. My soul now, poor Bobby's sinking down. I went to the crossroads, fell down on my knees. Everybody pass me by. Standing in the crossroads, rising sun going down. Standing in the crossroads, rising sun going down. My soul now, poor Bobby's singing now. You can run, you run, tell my friend Willie Brown. You can run, tell my friend Willie Brown. I believe I'm singing down. All right, that was Crossroad Blues by Robert Johnson, his most famous song that he ever produced. And today we're going to be covering the song in its entirety. We'll be looking at the alternate take version from his original recordings. So if you've tuned in, you've been following along with us. This winter we're focusing on Robert Johnson's music. This is in conjunction with my new ebook release, Robert Johnson Volume 1. It features 10 sides. 10 sides that are discussed in full detail, great length. Features full tabs, diagrams, everything you need to know to play the classics of Robert Johnson. So definitely check that out. It's on my website. Please look at the link provided in the information settings. If you've been following along with Delta Lou Music, I really appreciate the support over the past years, and you're helping me fulfill my mission. So it's my pleasure to create this lesson. I had an old lesson from 7 years ago that needed to be redone. So that's what we're going to do here. So enough babbling for now. I'm really excited about featuring this song in lesson form. And in order to do that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so what you need, ideally, a resophonic guitar is a nice feature to have in playing this music, but for now, any guitar can do. An acoustic guitar, even if you have a nylon string guitar, that's fine as well. I don't recommend electric guitar for studying here. Also, the components that you need to have, I prefer using a brass bottleneck slide rather than a glass slide. If you play with a brass slide, you capture more of this rugged Delta blues essence in the music, especially with Robert Johnson. I also recommend using plastic finger picks. I have one for my thumb, index, and middle finger. And this is, it provides easy play, finger picking play in Delta blues music, and you're able to play the strings with crisp tonality. So let's make sure that we have all of those components together. All right, so now that we've got those elements, if you haven't already, please look at my beginning finger picking blues guitar lessons 1 through 4. I have 4 videos on that. That's a prerequisite, and it covers the fundamentals in finger picking styles. If you watch those videos, I have a free tablature that is in conjunction with those 4 videos. It's available on my website on the free downloads page. If you watch all 4 videos, you will be even more ready to play along with the more complicated lessons to feature. This is a very highly complicated song to teach and learn, so if you have that knocked out of the way, that's a definite added advantage. My advanced players, if you don't want to sit around with the lesson, go straight to the website and go to the ebook. All right, so to begin, Crossroad Blues is played in open G tuning, Spanish tuning. However, Robert Johnson is pitched real high. He's pitched 2 whole steps up. So instead of G, he's going to be playing in B tuning. So it's impossible to tune your guitar to what you hear on the original recording. All my lessons are pitched to exactly what you hear in the original recording in case you wanted to play along. So for this purpose, since we cannot tune our guitars that high to open B tuning, so as you saw in that demonstration, I had a capo on the 2nd fret to be pitched to exactly how Robert Johnson is playing it. Right now my guitar is halfway in between G and B tuning. I'm in open A tuning. So that means the top string, if you're in E standard tuning right now, the top string is going to be in E for the purposes of this lesson. Now, if you wanted to follow along with Robert Johnson, you would put a capo on the 2nd fret. But for the purpose of this lesson, let's tune to open A tuning. Okay, so the top string, and we're going to go ahead and match up our strings together. The top string I'm going to be playing is going to be in E. So go ahead and match up on your side. My 2nd string is going to be in A. My 4th string is going to be in E. Okay, my 3rd string is going to be in A. My 2nd string is going to be a C sharp. And then finally my bottom string is going to be an E. And then you play an open chord. that means we can get started. So we're tuned together. Now, after you, again, it's your option. After you play this lesson the way we have it, you could put a capo on the 2nd fret, and that means you'll be in open B tuning. You'll be pitched to exactly how Robert Johnson is playing it. And that's something to keep in mind. All right. So now that we have our guitar tuned together, we've got our components, finger picks, we got our brass slide, and we have whatever guitar of your choice. We can go ahead and look at the introduction. So let's stay tuned and let's get that squared away. Alright, and so before we begin with the introduction, I'm going to talk about briefly the positioning of the right hand in playing slide guitar music in the style of Robert Johnson. So like I've demonstrated in the previous videos, you want to have your right hand positioned like this. Your thumb, the outer lining of your hand, is going to be dampening, hovering above the 6th string. Your thumb is going to be free like this, and it's going to be hovered over the 5th string. The pick is going to be on top of the 5th string. It's just going to be positioned there like this. Now your index and middle finger are going to be free to play whatever notes come out of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings. And together you'll have this combination when you pick together. Again, watch my videos, lessons 1 through 4 on finger picking styles. So that's going to come into play, just having that positioned as such. And you'll see when I demonstrate further on in the lesson just how that looks in application. So now that we have the right hand set up and technique, I want to talk about issuing the slide. Now, some people put their brass slide on their pinky or their ring finger. Whatever's more comfortable for you, that's fine. I cannot put it on my pinky because I have a deformed pinky. So I'm more comfortable putting it on my ring finger. Now, when you press the notes on the neck, you don't want to press with the slide too hard. If I press it too hard, it becomes a choppy and buzzy noise. So when you slide the actual slide on the strings, you want to create some sort of delicate leeway, gentle dampening strokes from the front to the back of the fret. You want to have some leverage here so that the notes fully ring out. And that's going to be very pivotal in playing Robert Johnson's music. So I've covered that example, the right hand technique, utilizing the slide. So now we can go ahead and proceed to the introduction. And the introduction is very typical, is a typical one used in this style of tuning. He plays it in walking blues and other songs played in the same tuning. So what he's doing here is there's going to be a lot of emphasis on the 12th fret. You're going to be sliding with fluidity here on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings on the 12th fret. That's where you're going to be doing a lot of the signature licks that feature out of this song. So the introduction is a lick on that 12th fret utilizing the slide. And if you have the tablature with you, please check out my ebook. It's the best way to follow along with all of my videos is having the ebook in front of you. I have it in front of me right now. That's how I'm teaching this. So the introduction sounds like this, and we'll go over it. And we'll go like this. One more time. Alright, so that's what he does there. He's going to be leading into this 12th fret. He's going to be playing the 1st, 2nd strings on the 12th fret. He's going to be sliding into there. And he begins this series of notes. There's a series of, he plays this 12th fret sequence 8 times. And he leads into it by going into the 2nd string, 11th fret, and he plays it with his index finger. Okay? And then he slides into the 12th fret, and your slide is going to be positioned over the first, second, and third strings, and with your index finger you're going to be plucking, strumming upwards towards yourself, towards your body, the first and second strings on the 12th fret. And they'll sound like this. So the combination of two is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he plays that combination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then after he plays that 6, he plays the second string on the 12th fret with his index finger. He plays that, and then he plays again that combination on the first and second strings on the 12th fret before going to an open chord right after that. So in its entirety, the introduction is like this. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the open chord. Right after an open chord strum, and then after that he sits on the 12th fret and then pulls off all the way to the 3rd fret. And that sounds like this. And he plays that lick afterwards, and that lick is a series of 5 notes in all. You're going to start on the 2nd string 12th fret, then go up to the 3rd string on the 12th fret, playing with the index finger. 1, 2, then you start your pull-off slide all the way to the 3rd fret. 3rd fret, 3rd string. Then you play the 3rd string open. So the first 4 notes out of that is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you cap that off on the bottom string 5th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So together the introduction from front to finish in that sequence is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And that's the other half of that introduction. So playing it fast will sound like this. And one more time. And that's the introduction. After he plays that, he plays this classic turnaround based in the open tuning and Spanish tuning, which will be playing on the octaves on the bass strings that you're going to position on the you're going to play this sequence. It's pretty straightforward and easy. So what you're going to do is you're going to play a chord here. You're going to take your index finger, you're going to play the top string on the 3rd fret. Your middle finger is going to play the 4th string on the 3rd fret. And you're going to play the top 3 strings only. So you have that chord, and then you'll maintain the same chord shape on the 2nd fret. Then to the 1st fret, and then you'll play it open. So he plays 3 strums of each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, followed by an open chord strum on those top 3 strings. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm playing that with my thumb. Now notice that the bass strings usually are played with the thumb. And then the index and middle finger are always going to play the notes on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings. So he makes this rundown. And after that, he does this little lick, which he also does in walking blues. And to do that, you're going to take your slide and you're going to slide from the 3rd to the 4th fret, 5th string. Then you're going to play the 4th string open, then the top string open. So 3 notes in all the way like this. 1, 2, 3. So the combination of the 2 is like this. Alright, so that's the introduction, and from the beginning the introduction will sound like this. Alright, and so now we can proceed to the first stanza in the song. There's 4 stanzas that feature from this song. It's different from the first version. So we'll go ahead and move on to that. Okay, the first stanza is going to feature it's going to feature or focus entirely on the 12th fret. You're going to be playing the individual strings on the 12th fret with the slide. It's going to be very strategic, and you'll have to position yourself in timing at times when there's no music being played. And this is the difficulties of playing Robert Johnson's music, is continuously trying to be in timing in playing these complicated intricacies. So the first measure on this stanza sounds like this. I went to the crossroads. So before he gets into that, we talked about the introduction. He goes into this. After he plays that last note, I like to tap my feet and position myself to kick off the first stanza. So there's a brief pause here before he kicks into this lick on the 12th fret. And I'm going to play that portion, that transition here, so please pay attention closely. So this is the introduction, the end of it. I went to the crossroads. And it's that brief period there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. I went to the crossroads. Sometimes you gotta count it out. It's this brief period of pause, but you gotta remain in timing. And so to play the first stanza, we'll go ahead and explain what he's doing here. In this portion where he goes, I went to the crossroads, you're positioning yourself to play individual strings on the 12th fret with the slide on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings. And you have to play them strategically to how he's singing the song. So he plays a combination of 6 notes here. And he does that by starting on the 2nd string 12th fret. Then he goes to the bottom string on the 12th fret, back to the 2nd string, back to the 1st, back to the 2nd, capping off on the 3rd string 12th fret. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went to the crossroads. 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 So that's that first lick. He's strategically playing it like that. Now, I want to play that introduction, the end of that, again, just to show you when to come in with that. So now that you've got that down pat, let me show you this brief pause. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I went to the crossroads. Again, I'm going to go real slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. I went to the crossroads. And when you count that out, you're still in timing, and you kick off the song officially when you do that. So he plays this, I went to the crossroads, 6 notes. And after he plays that, he plays this quick little turnaround again, elements from the introduction. But he plays it really softly. So immediately after this, he's like palm muting with his right hand. And so that sequence is, I went to the crossroads. And that comes immediately afterwards. Then after that, he goes, fell down on my knee. He's again emphasizing the play on the 12th fret, bottom 3 strings. Fell down on my knees. Carefully, strategically playing those individual notes. So in this portion, fell down on my knee, what he's doing here is he's playing a series of 7 notes. And he kicks off on the 2nd string 12th fret. Then he plays the combination of the 1st and 2nd strings on the 12th fret 4 times after that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then back to the 2nd string 12th fret. Capping off on the 3rd string 12th fret. He's always capping off these little licks on the 3rd string 12th fret. Just always keep that in mind. You're starting off these licks on the 1st, 2nd strings on the 12th fret, and then you're capping off those licks on the 3rd string 12th fret. It's an easy way to figure that out. So in this portion where he goes, fell down on my knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fell down on my knees. Fell down on my knees. So again, it's the 2nd string 12th fret, kicks that off. Then you play 4 of these sharp combinations on the 1st, 2nd strings on the 12th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fell down on my knees. Fell down on my knees. So that's how that goes. Again, it's very meticulous about execution there. If it's off just for a little bit, you're already have lost the timing. That's why Crossroad Blues is such a complicated song in terms of timing. It's a masterpiece though. So, going back to these first 2 licks in the stanza, we'll have to go back It's again all about timing. So you play this introduction from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. I went to the crossroads, fell down on my knees. So that's how it comes together. He's not playing a chord sequence. He's playing these notes and these sharp pauses, sharp abrupt stops, and somehow he combines everything and he's in timing in some way or other. All right. So again, it's all about this. I want to go real slow this time and then we'll move on. So from that last phrase on the introduction, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I went to the crossroads, fell down on my knee. Again, I'm going to go real slow, real slow. So it'll be like this. The introduction. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I went to the crossroads, fell down on my knee. And through practice, you'll definitely get it down pat. So after he plays that lick, where he plays fell down on my knees, he plays this combination of the top string 3rd fret, and then he plays the 5th string open. This abrupt combination of 2 notes on the bass string, which ends this measure and then brings them into the next lick, which we're going to play here. So I'll show you how that transition is played. So it's fell down on my knee. All right, this little, it's like a placeholder for him. All right, so now we're going to go into, we'll keep going on into this first stanza. We'll take a little break here and then we'll proceed with the other part of that.